back then. And back then we were, same as now, we're a nonprofit organization governed by board of volunteers for the industry. And no one that volunteers gets compensated. It's operated, and United Front represents the industry and the consumers who enjoy our products. Over the years, the organizations that have been supported to us have been NSPI, IPSA, the Western Pool and Spa Show, a number of corporate benefactors and out-of-state people and corporations. The person who started this back in the day was Don Burns. He was the face of spec, and we owe a lot of gratitude to this man because he even started stuff back in the day on the water shortage and the drought that we're even using today. So then after Don retired, we were fortunate enough to get the Norwood Associates. Sorry, John.
Okay.
And they're really well connected, and there are influencers up in Sacramento. Around this time of the transition, the leadership recognized the need to engage in a larger base of the industry. I'm sorry. That we wanted to make a difference in the legislation and efforts, and we underwent a name change as the California Pool and Spa Association. In addition to contributing supporters, we had members based on the organization where we built benefits for our members and offered it to them. And now, with our eyes looking forward, we're serving the California members, providing you with a maximum benefit. Last year, we entered into an agreement with the Pool and Hot Tub Association, the unified national organization, which used to be APSP. If people know that, it was first NSPI, then went to APSP, and now it's the Pool and Hot Tub Alliance. Shortly after we transitioned into CPSA, we also began one of the fiercest battles that we ever had, and that was the drought system. Okay, it's really hurt the industry. As long as I've been involved with SPEC and any of the associations, we've always in California come up against a water shortage. We've fought it constantly on a short help, type of deal. And we really need, this time around, we really need a lot more help. And I'm hoping that a lot of people see the way that they can help out. But we need to win this battle. Okay, so a few years ago, we passed since then. And as we can expect in the desert climates, we've indicated that back into the serious drought conditions, once again, finding ourselves having to make up this fight. And we just really need your support. So in shortly, just saying that, I appreciate everybody joining tonight and listen to what everybody has to say. So I'm going to hand it back over to Mike Lasher. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Just to expand a little bit about that, when we're talking to lawmakers, the volume of our voice, it's only as loud as the volume of our members. So if you're not a member, we need you to join, either today or as soon as possible. And it's not about the dues. Well, it is. It's just not all about the dues. It's also about our strength in numbers. When a legislator says, well, who you represent? It's this 75 or 100 guys. No, it's the pool industry in California. So when we say, well, we are X numbers strong, that just gives us a lot more credibility. So if you are thinking about what your membership means, it means a lot. If you're struggling to justify the modest cost of the dues, well, then consider what bad legislation would cost you. It could even cost some of you your businesses. Part or even all of your dues could actually pay for itself through the money that you save on things you already need for your business. This includes things like insurance through our affinity partner, Aquiline Insurance. It also includes discounts on things like hotels, car rentals, credit card merchant services, discounted pricing on the PHT educational programs, our publication standards, and a lot more. One of the greatest things to come out of our affiliation with PHTA is the significant expansion of benefits that we can offer you now. So when you join CPSA, you're automatically a member of PHTA, and you enjoy full benefits of both organizations. So we've really kind of sweetened the pot of benefits there for you. But our continued success doesn't hinge on membership alone. We also rely on your continued support through contributions and our corporate benefactors and sponsors. Following today's town hall program, I'm going to be reaching out to you. And if you're not a member, we expect you to join, or at a minimum to contribute to the cause, and not just being a freeloader. One final note before I hand things over is I want to make sure that you all save the date. We just put a webinar together for July 21st, and that is on basically planning for retirement, 401k, planning for your eventual sailing off into the sunset, and the things that you're doing to leverage yourself. So July 21st, it's going to be in the afternoon, and watch your inboxes. We have an announcement following shortly on that. I'm going to now do a couple of introductions. Thank you for sitting through my pitch. First up is Jason Davidson, and Jason is he's part of our advocacy team with PHTA out of the Alexandria, Virginia office. And Jason's joined today by Nick Capeza. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Nick. And Nick handles our standards and codes for PHTA. And so without further ado, Jason, you've got the floor for an introduction.
Thanks, Mike, and thank you, Jeff. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our town hall. I'm Jason Davidson, Director of Government Relations for the Pool and Hot Tub Alliance. Greetings to you from the East Coast. So it's 8:40 our time, but it's not past my bedtime yet. So anyway, it's great to be here. And thank you for the introduction, Mike. And yes, we are a lean and mean fighting machine out here at PHTA in the government relations world. We advocate in 48 states. We have a wide range of things that we work on and we play defense on. The biggest issues, I'll just give you a quick rundown. The biggest issues, our main priorities, which are promoting the adoption of the International Swimming Pool and Spa Code. We fight to get that adopted in all 50 states, and it's a continuous everyday fight to get that happening, not just in the states, but in the municipalities. And the same for our APSP 14 standard for portable electric spas. So we're working hard every day trying to get those standards adopted in all 50 states in America. We also fight decarbonization, as we all know that decarbonization is a major threat to our industry. Just a lot of myths, and a lot of government officials just really aren't properly educated on what decarb can do to pools and spas and our industry. And we're also playing a lot of defense. And what does that mean? Well, Nick Capeza, who I work very closely with, our senior consultants on codes and standards, he's my go-to guy. Every day we have a software that we use that covers all 50 states in the country, and we get alerts every day from every state, municipalities, showing us what's happening on the ground. Nick and I every day diligently go through them. We identify if there's anything we need to get involved in. We identify if there's anything we need to support. And that's how we kind of keep our ears to the ground. And it's not just our stateside tracker, our software that we rely on. Nick and I have quite a bit of extensive experience with contacts nationwide. And as you know, software doesn't capture everything, but because we have such a great network we're able to kind of tap into what's happening on the ground before it gets to you guys or before it hits the media. So that's just kind of a quick rundown on what we do. And of course, yes, drought. We are involved in drought. We are involved in the fight against curtailing swimming pools and spas when it comes to drought. Make no mistake about it, PHTA, we support water conservation. I just want to make that clear. We support it. But as you know, there's false perceptions about pools and hot tubs and their water usage. It's no secret that a swimming pool actually uses less water than a patch of grass in the same surface area. And on the flip side, it takes 10,000 gallons of water to grow and process food for just a backyard barbecue of 4 people. So with that being said, what are we doing about drought here at PHTA on the national level? Well, we've developed quite a bit of extensive information and resources on water conservation and accurate information on our water usage footprint. And we've been providing that information to government officials nationwide. You can also find a lot of this on our website. It's right there, right at your fingertips. We've also developed our own water conservation standard. And Nick Capezza will get into the weeds of that. He's our codes and standards guy. He can tell you all about that. And it's really fascinating stuff what we're doing with that. We also have a draft form letter to model to cities or water districts, particularly in California. John Norwood will speak to that here in a few moments. But those are a lot of the things that we've been doing to fight the issue of drought. What's happening on the ground right now? So I will say since the start of the year, I haven't seen, and this is good news, I haven't seen a lot nationally in all 50 states as far as the state legislatures are concerned on water conservation and curtailment, drought restrictions. However, it's no secret that I understand, and we all know that that's not quite the case in California as far as municipalities and cities and the places where you live. I know right now that there are well over 100 cities, and it's growing, of city councils and local governments curtailing drought restrictions, bringing in drought restrictions. So we understand how serious this is. That's why we're putting on this town hall, and just wanted to tell you a little bit about our shop and what we're doing on the national scale, and really happy to be here and help support the good work of CPSA. And for that, I'll turn that over to Nick.
Thanks, Jason. I'm Nick Capezza. I work in codes and external standards at PHTA. And right now, for the last 6 or 7 months, my main focus has been the ICC code cycle and the update to the International Swimming Pool and Spa Code, as Jason mentioned. I also work with other code developing organizations, including NFPA, which develops the National Electrical Code, IAPMO, and external standards organizations that develop pool and spa industry related standards, including UL, NSF, and of course, PHTA. And very briefly, Jason had mentioned our 13 conservation standard. I think a lot of the resources you already have go into a lot of the tips that are in the 13 standard. The 13 standard gets into the weeds a little bit on some of those issues, including how to prevent leaks, how to test for leaks. There's an appendix that talks about specifically dealing with drought situations and dealing with water boards and regulators. There is a free read-only version of the 13 standard that's available on the PHTA website for you. It's a very slim and trim standard that has just been renewed in 2021. So the information has been reviewed recently and is up to date. And thank you very much for coming out. And I look forward to working with anyone who could use our assistance in the codes and standards world.
Awesome. Thank you, Nick. I'm going to hand it over to John, but before I do, just want to remind you folks that we are conducting this as a town hall format meeting, which means that we want to hear from you as well. So there's a chat window feature on here. If you would like to speak, you can put your question or comment right in the chat, or if you can just put in there that you'd like to speak, kind of like raising your hand. And then when we open it up for the town hall, we'll call on you in the order that we see that on the chat thread. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to John. John, you have the floor. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Mike. And thank all of you for joining us this evening for this a very important town hall. I'm going to try to be, there's been a lot of talking. I think a lot of you want to say something as well, so I'm going to try to be as brief as possible. As you all know, California is in the beginnings of what looks like a horrible drought. Some experts would say we're in the 100-year drought cycle, right now. And our lakes and reservoirs, if you've been reading, are at the stage where it took 3 years to get to in the last drought. So this is in the first year, and we're already way, way down. A lot of the water that in the snowpack literally disappeared. It was soaked in because things were so dry, soaked into the ground, never got to the rivers. Here in Sacramento, our entire salmon run is in danger because the rivers here, American Sacramento rivers, are so warm. The state's putting in a rock wall to keep saltwater intrusion in the bay, and that's costing like $10 million or something along those lines. So we're way down the line here. As was indicated, CPSA monitors legislation at the state capitol as well as state agencies. But with regard to this, it's really what cities and counties and water districts are doing. There's over 700 water districts in California, 458 cities, and 58 counties. We do have a notification system that we contract with Pool and Hot Tub Alliance, and that gives us notice of when something like this, an ordinance, what they call an urban water management plan, comes up for consideration or discussion of the drought. But unfortunately, because city councils only have to give 3 days notice of their agenda and their agenda items, by the time our contractor gets the information to us, we have maybe 48 hours at the most to be able to respond. And we're able to respond, and we have a letter that we can turn around. We have lots and lots of materials, and we can get that to cities and counties. Fortunately, during the last drought, that was back just coming out of the Great Recession. And we were lucky as an industry, raised $200,000, created the Let's Pool Together campaign, all kinds of materials. We went to the State Department of Water Resources. They do a guidebook that helps every city develop their urban water management plan. And every city has to have one. They're required to have one. And they have to update them every 5 years. And we got them to remove from their guidebook any restrictions on pools and hot tubs, with the exception of a recommendation the city's mandate covers. So that went a long ways in helping cities prepare their urban water management plans and not target pools and spas. Unfortunately, a lot of cities don't want to do it themselves. They don't have the staff. So they hire consultants that do this all over the country. And when the consultants do it, we're not so lucky. So, we're right now getting 5 to 10 notices per day of cities that have an agenda item for consideration of implementing their urban water management emergency contingency plans and or a discussion of drought, education about drought, whatever the case may be. And we're trying to respond to those. But what we really need as an industry is we need to multiply our ability to respond. And how to do that is we need to get our members to pay attention and find out what's happening in their own community. You guys are all business people in your district. City council people are the people you go to get your potholes filled and to get other, to talk about communities. They're the ones, they're very responsive to people in their district, their elected officials. So, you can very easily look up your city council person and give them a call, talk to their staff and find out. We have a list of like 8 things that you can do in your community right off the bat that will help us. But you can give them a call and ask them whether the city has implemented or is considering implementing an urban water management plan to respond to the drought. You can ask them, and the staff will help you find out if their plan has any restrictions on new swimming pools, existing swimming pools, or spas. And Mike, you might want to put up that list of 8 things here. You ask for a copy of the ordinance. Be prepared to make the argument that new swimming pools and spas should not be restricted, because the facts are that pools and spas don't use much water. You can ask and in that interaction, you can ask the city council member to check with the city public works to find out how many permits they issue annually for new pools. I mean, you could take that information and say, okay, if you then take 14 to 18,000 gallons of water per pool and times it by the number of new permits and convert that to acre feet of water, you can ask the city, how much acre feet of water does the city use in one day? And you're going to find out that to fill all the pools and spas in any given year will take about 1% or less of the water it takes to fill all the pools are going to be used in 1 year. So, that's really good information to have. You can become familiar with the materials that we have that help you become a speaker, become a defender. And so you're comfortable in making those arguments. And at the same time, let us know, because if we know more than 48 hours ahead, we can help you, and we can get a letter off. We can interact with the mayor and the city council and help, work to that end. So, Mike has materials. We have the steps that you can take. Mike, are you going to get that slide up?
It's a PDF. Just a moment here. I'm going to switch to a different screen for you.
So while he's doing that, we have, here's 5 to 8 steps you can take as an individual in your community right here. And, and this is kind of what we do. And then we have a draft letter. It's kind of the next item. And that draft letter has a lot of information about the facts about swimming pools and spas and how much water they use. We have 5 to 6 talking points in that model letter on each. And then we've really put in here 1-pagers that also replicate those facts that you can provide to your city council and their staff. And we also have materials about, here's the letter. It's a 2-page letter. These bullet points are very good, I think, in terms of making the point that that pools and spas don't use much water, and making the point that there is no scientific or no facts that argue for the rationale to ban the filling of new swimming pools and spas. It's just not there. And at the same, but what you are doing, you're not really saving any water, but what you are doing is putting a spike in the heart of business people in your community that have now just got through the, COVID. I mean, pool builders and maintenance people, and this are all local. You pay good salaries to subcontractors. You buy your materials local. There's awfully good arguments here for that. And then keep going, Mike, for the the other materials, that we put those bullet points into facts about water usage by pools and facts for water usage by spas is another one, as Mike is going to keep scrolling here. And then we have a couple other documents about if you have a pool or if you have a spa, what you can do to conserve water. So it puts us in the position of proving to staff and city council folks that pools and spas don't use much water. And oh, by the way, we want to be part of the solution as well. So here's facts about how you save water, and we're giving these out to our pool people, the people that own pools, people that own spas. We're providing this. We've got door hangers, we've got lots of things like that, and you as city council people can put these in your newsletter and that type of thing. So that's we need your help. It's 458 cities in California, 700 water districts, and we just need notice, and we need to multiply our efforts. So that's going to be my spiel. Here's the materials. It's essentially a speaker's kit. Doesn't take much to go through this. Most of you kind of know this inherently anyhow. I see Keith Harback on the video here. Keith, last time around, was instrumental in helping to put a lot of these materials together, did the math on some of them, has done quite a bit of outreach to water districts and cities. And I think he can tell you they're thanking him for it. The water districts know pools and spas don't use much water, but they're not going to defend us. They got enough to do. So it's up to us, and it's up to this industry to do it. And I tell you, our real challenge is there's 3,400 licensed pool builders in California, and we probably don't have 200 licensed pool builders as members of CPSA and Pool and Hot Tub Alliance. So when you have 458 cities, that that makes a challenge. I mean, I want to be able in this letter, and you'll see in the draft letter, I say, I'm writing on behalf of CPSA, Pool and Hot Tub Alliance, and our local members. And I want to be able to name our local members, pool builders and spa retailers. And we can't do that in every district. But so A, we need your help. B, we need more members that are in the industry to be able to do this. Not necessarily we need the dues, obviously, but really from a grassroots standpoint of being able to interact locally, because city councils, when you go in there, and we did this time after time last time around, you go into places that you don't think you're going to do well, to Santa Monica and other places like that. You do it with local business people and builders and things, and the city council pays attention. I go in on my own, they're not going to pay that much attention. So end of my spiel. I want to get to questions or concerns that those of you that have taken the time to attend this might have. So Mike, I'll hand it back to you to start responding to any concerns or questions that our participants might have. Thank you.
Awesome. So once discussion starts, I'm going to get that document that we just shared. I'm going to try and post it into the share here. You're going to all be sent a copy of it by email. If you registered with your email address, we've got it. So you'll be getting a copy of it that way. I'm going to open it up for the first person who is up to speak, and that would be Keith Harbeck. And Keith, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mike. I'm a pool builder in the Sacramento area, and just want to kind of piggyback on some of the things that John said. The biggest challenge, of course, is that there's 700 different water districts. So one thing that I have found helpful in your area is to look at those water districts and look at their stages of drought, because that's where there's no real consistency. In certain water districts, pool restrictions will come in earlier, and they even stage them differently, so you have to look. But let's just use an example: stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, right? And the restrictions get worse or harder, more draconian towards things as the stages increase. In a lot of these water districts from before, we are symbolically included way too soon. And so what's nice to know, and it takes a lot of people, like John was saying, is where are our hotspots? Where are the water agencies that are starting to restrict swimming pools prematurely? I think, when we get to a point where a drought is so severe that they're allowing no outdoor water use, well, then pools are going to be included, and we're never going to fight our way out of that. The problem is they're still allowing lots of outdoor water use, and they start restricting swimming pools. So I would say, yeah, it takes a lot of people. And if there's builders in certain areas that can spend some time doing that and figuring out where the hot spots are, when you meet with those water agencies, and as John mentioned, city council members, when you're prepared and you're respectful and you bring forth the facts, they will make changes, and they do change where how those restrictions work. They really don't want to bring a lot of trouble on themselves needlessly. And right now, with the demand of swimming pools, I think we all have huge backlogs of people wanting this product. And for them to have to fight that battle needlessly because the science doesn't support it, if you give them enough facts, I think they will work with us. So maybe you didn't need to hear all of that, but I think we made some progress last time around. And then it rained, and we kind of lost our enthusiasm. I think right now it would be so important to focus a little bit here because it looks like so far in most of California, the restrictions right now are voluntary. I was checking with the water agencies here and a contact I have at the Regional Water Authority, and they're thinking this looks pretty good for this year. However, we get one more dry winter and we don't do anything about where we appear in these drought stages, we're going to be in trouble. So this is a year where it's top of mind and we could get out in front of it. And then the final thing I would say, it's really kind of like also like a PR campaign. The more we as builders educate everyone we sell a pool to on the water savings involved and how there's this misconception that pools lose a lot of water, the more we as an industry and with 3,400 pool builders can make that common knowledge, the easier it becomes for the water agencies and the city councils and people to work with us because it's understood in the community. So that's all I had to say.
Yeah, let me jump in on that a little bit, Keith. Last time around, one of the things we found out is during a drought, if Keith's building a pool, that person can get abuse from their neighbors because they think they're wasting water. So we did develop door hangers and building stuffers and things that made the point that the pools don't use much water and that builders can use those. In addition to the fact that these restrictions could kill your business, they also can adversely affect the suppliers you use, the subcontractors you use, so you can recruit them. But as many of you, Keith and others, have a backlog of clients that are expecting pools sometime in the next couple months, you can recruit them too. And you get a bunch of people like that in the city councilman's office or the mayor's office to respond, and it's going to be very potent. Okay.
Sorry about that. I had myself on mute. Okay, so the floor is open. We've got a few dozen people here, and this is your chance to speak your mind, ask your questions, share your comments.
Michael, my name is Kent Westfall. I'm the Director of Technical Services for the National Plasters Council. We have quite a few members nationwide, and I will be attending a meeting next month, and this is one of the topics we're going to bring up because California seems to set the tone for the rest of the country on issues like this, and I think that we need to not only focus on California, most importantly, but also nationwide, because in the little bit of research I've been doing, I'm finding that there are other parts of the country that are suffering different levels of drought, and it seems to be increasing instead of decreasing. And one other suggestion is that we try and get IPSA members involved because IPSA members are in the backyard every day. They contact the homeowners, and my experience has been that IPSA members or service people in general, they seem to have the trust of the homeowners, and this would be a great way to get the word out. And if we can convince the service people that this is threatening their business as well, then we can incorporate them into a huge staff of people that are fighting this. And it is going to take a lot more of us, as John said. We need to get more members in PSA and PHTA, because that will get the attention of the people that are making these decisions.
Good point there, Keith. Now, I'll address the IPSA thing first. If there's any IPSA chapter leaders that are on this call, please know that I'm available to come out and speak to your chapter on the drought. I'm happy to share the resources kit. Just pick up the phone and call me. If I can get there in 3 hours, I'll drive to you. If it's a little further, then I probably have to find an alternative mode of transportation.
I can attend the IPSA meetings as well, and the UPA meetings. David Hawes is somebody that the NPC is working with currently on an educational program that we're putting together for the state of California. So I will contact him tomorrow and see if he can light a fire under his members, because this, as John says, takes more than just the few of us here.
Well, that's great. And we have, look, I mean, this is can anybody see this? I mean, this is just one folder of material that came out of the last drought campaign. So during that campaign, we had door hangers for all the service people, and we got them to IPSA. We had billing stuffers that we got to IPSA, and they were on a couple different things. How, if you're a pool owner, how you save water, or just to educate pool owners that their pools weren't using water, and it worked very well. Last time around, I think we did hire a professional PR firm. I think I was on probably 75 different talk shows, and I don't, we were well received by talk shows, the press, and the media. I was really surprised that people didn't challenge some of our facts and things, but we have studies that were confirmed by different water districts in different cities. So we have tons of material that we can help with whatever campaign that IPSA is involved in. And I see that Dave's on the call and happy to work with you. Just let Mike know these are all electronic documents. They can be modified, whatever.
And Kent, we're also fortunate to have Jason Davidson on the phone, since you're talking about some of the other states. So, Jason, I'm sure you heard that and prepared to take anything that we have over to them and anything that they have back to us. But something tells me that we're kind of the leaders on this in the country.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just as I said earlier, and Kent, really appreciate your comments. And no, you're absolutely right. As I said earlier, I haven't seen anything nationwide as far as the state legislatures or even municipalities. The battleground has been in California, and not even in the state legislature. It's been the municipalities. That's not to say, so just to give you a broad scope, I mean, it's just Nick and I, and we cover a lot of ground. But when it comes to the municipalities, as John stated, we only get so much notice, and it's people like you that are on the ground that are in tune with your city councils that actually get better information than we do, and a lot faster. So, like you said, Ken, we need more people like you on the ground to feed us with the information. We can give you as many resources as you need, quickly and accurately and efficiently.
I appreciate that, and whatever I can get will be distributed. I've been asked to actually write an article about this for our meeting next month. So any input would be much appreciated, and we can get it out through our contacts. And also, John, you mentioned manufacturers. If we need money, that's the source you need to go to, is some of the manufacturers, because they stand to lose an awful lot if this thing gets closed down. So we have some NPC members that are reps from different companies that we can talk to and see if we can't get them involved as well.
Okay. Now, Kent, you mentioned David Haas. I hate to call him out, but I just been kind of chatting back and forth, wanted to give him a chance to jump in and say hi and maybe just expand upon and some of the things you're collaborating on. David, did you want to speak? You'll have
Yeah,
to take yourself-
I'm actually, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I'm actually sitting outside our meeting. I have a Northern California regional meeting with all my presidents and representatives that I'm going to be going in and telling them about this particular call. And I think that, I agree with Ken. I think we're probably a little closer after the pool build. We get to go in the backyard for the next year, 2, 5, 10 years. And some of us, like me, who have been doing this 50 years, have been through a few droughts. And we started 4 months ago sending out notices in the invoices about liquid covers, hard covers, and that mandates were coming. So we've done our part with our clients, but I think on a larger scale, we definitely could use whatever material that you folks have. It's always tough to get some of the guys with 50 or 60 pools to get it out to their clients, but that doesn't mean we don't make it available. Our job is just to make it available. And as these guys begin to see the impact with their clients, hopefully that will motivate them. But we've got probably 2,400 members in California alone. And, we have a great distribution network. It's not something that you have to work real hard. Mike, Rose, and I think this is reaching somewhat catastrophic, concerns. At least it is for me. And I think the sooner the better. I think that we can all make a concerted effort to bring the material from CPSA into our distribution network, the IPSN, our monthly newsletter, and begin to facilitate the material so that these guys, if it's in a PDA, we have a great, robust website now, and we even have an app, our own very own IPSA app. And so as we are able to utilize those much more efficiently in getting information distributed and certainly documents, we want to get that going right away. So Mike, I'm just going to encourage you. I'm going to speak to all my presidents. I have 12 chapters represented tonight I'll be speaking to. And Rose is actually going to my meeting tonight. She will be here, as well as Penny, who's in charge of our social media. And so it's rather fortuitous. I didn't know what I was going to hear, but of course, it's not good news. But I think as we are able to enlist that, as you know, Steve Homer, who's president of UPA, the United Pool Association, is one of my fellow committee members for the apprenticeship program. And I'm going to be talking to him and see if we just can't get a real alliance going in the service part of the industry, and see if we can help out as much as possible. I think we have a good chance of making a connection with our clientele, sometimes a little bit better than builders, because like was said, we're back there all the time. So I'm committed to talking about y'all at the meeting tonight here, and we'll see what we can do for IPSA. And tomorrow I'll get a hold of Mr. Homer and start getting UPA involved in that. Mike, and if you need a contact there, I'll make sure that you get it.
I appreciate it. Now you're up in Northern Cal?
I am. Yep.
Okay. I will chat with you offline because I'd love to figure a way to make myself available to talk to you guys. We'll figure out a way. Maybe it's through Zoom or something like that. So it's a virtual presence.
Sure.
But happy to talk with you guys, and I appreciate your efforts to get them engaged and full on, making a difference.
And as Mike said, all of the materials that we ran through real quick are all going to be available. They're going to be emailed out to all of you. We have more. I mean, it's a challenge just to go through all the materials and find them, but we've got the format for the door hangers and building stuffers and all those kinds of things that it just takes a little energy to go find them. So, but most of the material that is kind of in the speaker's kit is what can be, what's available here tonight and what's going to be sent you in an email.
And it'll also be available for download on the website too, John.
Yeah, okay.
But I will be sending it out to everybody. So
I'm going to go ahead into my meeting, Mike. So thank you very much. And we'll, sounds like we need to get to work. Find chlorine tablets, find liquid chlorine, and fight the drought restrictions.
yeah. Good luck with your meeting, David.
Thank you.
Gotta add to that, find PVC pipe.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah. Well, we don't need it if we can't find employees. So we got to do that too. We got a pretty tall order and a pretty full plate right now.
What next? Oh.
I'm gonna call on this. I'm not seeing any questions, so I'm just going to use this as an intermission point. I see that Janae Rickwalder is on the line, and Janae is VP of Marketing and Communications at PHTA. Janae, I'd like to invite you to take yourself off mute and say hi to the group, and maybe how communications kind of ties into this. That how we can help our members in the field.
Sure, Mike, no problem. Hi, everybody. As Mike said, I am I oversee the marketing and communications for PHTA.
Sorry about that. I was on the town hall with CPSA. So, yeah.
I'll take care of that. Give me a moment here.
Can somebody mute?
Yes.
All good?
There we go.
So anyway, yes, I oversee the marketing communications for PHTA, and we've developed a number of, well, we've also reinterpreted a number of the communications that have been created a few years ago with the last drought. And we have, branded them as CPSA, PHTA, and we just want to make sure that we provide you guys with the materials that you need to be successful in front of your customers. So if there's anything, I mean, I know, John, you mentioned door hangers and invoice stuffers and everything. We're happy to develop those. We just, we'll get that moving forward right away. But if there's anything that you guys see or want, just let us know, because we're there to serve you.
Thank you, Janae.
Michael, real quick, this is going to be cliche, but a lot of people, when they're asked to help with a project like this, they say, well, I just don't have the time. But what I would tell my employees in the past is, look, there's 35 of us, and if each one of us improves by just 1%, that's a 35% improvement. So if we can get people to do just a little bit, it's going to add up to a big result. And I think that needs to be pushed when we're asking people to help. We're not asking you to do a lot, just a little. And then hopefully that adds up to what we're looking for, and that's good results.
And yes, Kent, that's actually true with both time and money. And, there's that strength in numbers. And, you have 10 people trying to do everything. Well, they get burned out quick, or their wallet gets thinned out quick. You got 100 people doing that, then it's a little, you're kind of, everybody's taking their fair share. Point well taken there.
To add to that, the draft form letter that we've touched on is a great tool that's very quick, easy, and efficient for you to submit to your local council meeting when they convene, to voice your advocacy for our industry, and also show up and testify orally. It's on our website already. You can download it. It's in a Microsoft Word document. You can tweak it. You can play with it however you want. That's what it's designed to do. Very quick and easy. It provides all the information you need. You just put your name on it, make a few adjustments, so you can submit it. Because at the end of the day, these city councils, it's all about how many people show up and voice their opposition or support for one thing. So that's one very easy and efficient tool that you can really use quickly.
Question, do petitions hold any leverage in situations like this? Could the service guys get a petition circulated and bring that in? John, would that help?
Sure. Like I said before, showing up at a city council meeting with other business people makes a big difference, and or having that kind of support. And now with most of these city council meetings, they're all phone in or testimony anyhow, so anybody could do it. And in some cases, they limit testimony, so you can have one spokesperson, then everybody else says, me too. I'm Jim Smith. We have a pool maintenance company. I support these guys, or that I run the local building exchange, or the building supplies store, or the steel place where we get our rebar. So yeah, that is very helpful.
Do we have a petition that we could circulate with the service guys? And
Well, I don't have one. We could think about that, but we could probably do a draft one that would go with the draft letter. Yeah.
okay,
Kind of a model one, so to speak. Yeah.
okay.
Okay, I see a comment here in the chat. Providing information to homeowners associations would be wise. That was a comment from Harold. Thank you for sharing that. And that's absolutely true. And engaging the consumers is, this resource kit, again, let me see if I can share it on the screen here with you. These are actually designed, is it sharing? It is not sharing. Sorry about that. Now you can see it. So there's a document in here. This facts about pool water usage is actually meant to be used for consumers as well, both in the facts and the tips that are here at the bottom there. And there's one for pool and spa. There's also one for hot tubs that isn't in this packet. There's actually, like John said, we've got lots of materials and resources for this. We've put something relatively simple only for the sake of not overwhelming you. But if there's something specific, if there's a specific tool that you're looking for that we could help, by all means, let us know about it. And I think maybe on the homeowners association would be something that's, I guess be in the, what would you call it? Semi-public, something that would be geared toward those semi-public pools.
Where I'm at, there's thousands of semi-public pools, so that's a very good suggestion to go after the HOAs, because you're targeting a large group of people, and as John says, we need more people made aware. Another thing that just popped into my head, when I was running reverse osmosis during the last drought, I was contacted by water districts for information about how to make sure that your pool's not leaking, how to make it efficient, and to give facts about the water usage that a pool entails. So nowadays, everybody's got these little Zoom videos that they're doing. I know here where I'm at locally, there's a water district that does little videos on their website. So that might be another way to access some people, is directly through the water districts, help them educate everybody.
Via the districts, interesting, yeah.
That's a good point. We haven't, the old bucket test on, see if your pool's leaking. You can check your automatic fill. There's, lots of those things. Turn off your water features, put a cover on your pool. There's lots of things we have there.
Other comments from folks?
maybe just one thing on John, maybe some more current information and better information on economic impact.
Right.
Some of our information that we have here is a bit outdated. And even when we were using that $5 billion figure last time, I don't think we were taking the remodels into account. So it's pretty significant when you look at not only revenue, but job creation, building permits, all those kinds of facts and figures. But I think we could use some updating there.
Well, I think we could. We got that with PK data from, it's pretty old. And then we also have what we developed on, the pool industry is the most efficient, the economic impact per acre of feet of water used by the pool industry is greater than anything but tech at about $900, per acre foot. And we also have the highest employment per acre foot of water used than any other industry. And so those are key points. The one I like the best is that the water, these cities never shut down car washes that recycle. So the big deal is the car washes recycle. And if you look at their materials, and I think we commented on that, that automatic car washes that recycle use about 1% of the water the city uses annually. Well, to fill all the new pools in a city takes less than 1% of the water used by a city in a single day. So, again, we have a pretty strong case to make.
Matter of just getting the information out, making people understand.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, folks, if you don't want to wait for the email, if you open up the chat feature in Zoom, I know some of you called in so you don't see it, so you'll have to wait for the email. But if you're logged into Zoom and you have access to the chat feed, I've dropped the link in there to the resources kit that I keep talking about. So you can just download it right now if you want. Again, I'm still going to email it to you all, but at least you can grab it now if you need it.
Mike, this is Philip from Fluidra. I just wanted to, and Zodiac Pool Systems, Jen, I just want to say, we're here to support the effort in any way we can. We're here in Southern California, so please keep me in touch and in the loop of what we can do and support any way possible. I did want to ask if there's any, has there been any discussion or information presented about the pool covers retaining any evaporation of water and helping with conservation in pools? If that's part of the
Yeah, it's right in our letters that pool covers can save 97% of evaporation. And one of the things somebody mentioned, other states, the Water Authority in Nevada, Southern Nevada Water Authority, they actually did rebates on pool covers. We got Metropolitan Water District to do rebates on pool covers. So, that's a possibility there.
rebates would be fantastic.
Mm-hmm. So, folks, if you can't think of a question now and our meeting adjourns and then you snap your fingers going, if I had only asked that question, feel free to just send it to us by email. We'll get it addressed. If you've got comments, input, and certainly if you have questions about membership, if you're not a member, if you are a member and you have questions about your benefits, give me a call. We are here to serve you. We're about an hour in now, and I'm not seeing too many other questions, but I do want to give everybody a chance to make comments and ask questions. So, feel free to do so. Jeff Mitchell, are you still on the line?
Yeah, if I'm not muted.
No, we can hear you. Did you want to make any closing remarks?
Yeah, the deal is that I really appreciate as many people that have attended this town hall meeting tonight, just to get the message out, that we really need to be working on this. very diligently. And tell everybody, especially the builders out there, tell your customers, but also tell your subs that, we need the help, that this is a crisis that we need to work on right away. I think everybody in Southern California has always known about it, and they've been happy on the fact of what we've done in the past, but I don't think they really realize just how critical this one is right now and what it could do. So once again, just want to thank you all for, participating. And if there's any questions, feel free to give me a call. Thank you.
Okay.
John, did you have any closing comments?
No, I really don't. I think I said everything I need to say. We need to get ahead of it this year. It's already emergency in a number of communities, especially in Northern California and the Valley. If we don't get ahead of it this year, next year will be hell. Somebody talked about everybody being busy. Well, if we don't get ahead of it, people won't be very busy and they'll have a lot of time on their hands.
Busy looking for work.
Yeah, right. So that's why I've actually got to run to another event too. So I'm going to sign off. Thanks so much for everybody being here and for
Thanks,
the
John.
support.
Thank you,
Thank
John.
you. Well, I think that's going to conclude our meeting for tonight, but it's not this is the beginning of the conversation, not the end. So I want to thank you all for giving us an hour of your day to go over this. This is a big challenge ahead of us, but we have we've got a great group of members here, and we look forward to having you engaged in this fight. And as a reminder, keep us in the loop with any of your efforts. If you're talking with your city council, let John or me know if something comes up in your community and you need to activate some other people in your community that are members to put an all hands on deck. Let us know so we can get some kind of alert out there to the people in your area. And lastly, just as a reminder, save the date for July 21st on a webinar in the afternoon for planning your exit strategy. So thank you, folks, for your time. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.